Well, good Monday to you. I'm Weather Impact Team Meteorologist Chris Spears. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus as we take a deeper dive into your forecast. And we have quite a bit to talk about this week. We're going to see some changing weather here over the next few days as our jet stream pattern kind of shifts around just a little bit. Let's look at your headlines for today. We're talking near record heat, both today and tomorrow. In Denver, the record for both days is 90, and we're going to be very close to that, well into the 80s. Hopefully you have located your shorts and your flip-flops. And yes, double check that calendar. It is the middle of May, although the temperatures kind of feel more like July here along the Front Range and across the state. Fire danger will become another weather story that we're going to talk about today through Wednesday. And as you can imagine, with this unusually warm weather combined with some wind that will come in, that is your recipe for fire given how dry conditions are right now. And we will see those isolated thunderstorms return. So if you are a fan of afternoon storms, don't worry, they'll be back here before too much longer. We have a wind advisory in effect for the northwestern corner of Colorado. The National Weather Service has issued this for good reason. We have had some places today between Meeker, Rangeley, and Craig consistently recording wind gusts 30 to 45 miles per hour. And that meets the criteria for a high wind advisory. So this goes through 8 o'clock tonight as those winds will stay up and quite gusty at times. The wind will be back on Tuesday as well. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. I want to roll the futurecast for you here, and there's really not a lot to show you on this futurecast, but I will point out just a couple of things. You're going to have to squint and look really close to see what I'm talking about. You see a few little clouds pass through from time to time, but watch right around the word Denver and to the right of Denver. You're going to see an occasional little green blip go by, and that is the model showing us that we have the chance for a gusty thundershower. We're not going to see anything widespread. This is nothing to change your plans over, but because of the daytime heating and just a little bit of moisture passing through at the upper levels of our atmosphere, we are going to see a couple of those little gusty showers pop up. Where they do, we're going to see more wind than anything else, but if you are really lucky, you'll get a sprinkle or two along with that wind. In Denver, mostly sunny and 87 for a high temperature. To kind of put that into perspective, the record for this date is 90 and the normal high is 69. So we are talking 15 to 20 degrees above normal for this time of the year. 87 in Denver would not break that record, but get very, very close. Now, some places on the Eastern Plains may actually get into the 90s this afternoon. We're talking the Arkansas River Valley, Pueblo, La Junta, Lamar, out on the western slope. Some of those valleys have the chance to hit 90, such as around Grand Junction. Greeley, you could even briefly hit the 90-degree mark, but the rest of us should top off somewhere in those mid to upper 80s. High country, now those temperatures, 60s and 70s, that's going to get that snow melt energized. So if you have any plans to be near the water in our high country over the next few days, rivers, creeks, and streams, you'll want to use some caution because those waters, they're going to be picking up in both depth and in terms of the speed as they flow on down the hills. Here's the overnight low forecast for tonight, and this is a relatively mild overnight low map. Even those high elevation locations, let's look at Leadville, 10,000 feet, staying above freezing overnight, and so that is why we say we have concern for the snow melt picking up. It's not only warm during the day, it's warm at night, and so that snow melt will really get going here over the next several days. In Denver, we may only drop into the mid 50s for an overnight low. It's going to be a beautiful night with that full flower moon, so make sure you sit outside on your patio and take it in, because this is a treat for early May, mid-May, to have temperatures this mild. We know it certainly could be colder. Clear and quiet tonight in the city. Those winds are going to be light with that low again around 55 degrees. Now, let's talk about tomorrow, because you're going to notice similarities to today, but at the same time some differences, and that is simply because of this. High pressure that is dominating today will begin a very slow trek to the east. As it does so, a low pressure will come in from the west. And this is a Pacific Northwest low, so it's going to bring some much cooler air toward Colorado and the Central Rockies. It's also going to have just a little bit of moisture embedded within it. So as it gets closer, we will see some thunderstorms come back into the picture. Look at Colorado, look at the position of the low, look at the position of the high. We are smack dab in between, and the pressure gradient between these two features will push that wind up to some pretty strong levels on Tuesday, especially in the western side of the state. I'll show you who is under an advisory, but I want to give you a few more bullet points with regard to this midweek pattern change. The first is we turn windy statewide. That starts on Tuesday, but you're really going to notice it on your Wednesday. Scattered thunderstorms will return. We are not looking at anything huge and widespread at this point. We are not anticipating a severe weather event, but just enough moisture with the daytime heating to see those scattered storms. And we know this time of the year, even if we say we're not expecting severe weather, we have to keep our weather hat on, because sometimes those storms out on the plains can get just a little bit on the rowdy side. Looking at the last bullet point here, elevated fire danger for the next few days, especially in the foothills and out on the eastern plains. There's your wind advisory for tomorrow. Today it's northwestern Colorado. Tomorrow it will be the entire western slope. So keep that in mind. If you're going to be out that way, those winds will be gusting as high as 45 miles per hour. And here's tomorrow's futurecast. You see just a couple of little storms try to pop up, but it's Wednesday as that main low pressure really gets closer to the region. We'll see a little bit more coverage in those showers and thunderstorms, both in the high country and out on the eastern plains. And believe it or not, enough cool air with this system that some of those highest mountains may even get a little mix of snow or all snow by the time we get into Wednesday night. Let's talk about your highs tomorrow. Similar to today, we're talking back in those 70s and 60s for the mountains, 70s and 80s for the western slope, eastern plains 80s and 90s once again. So 2 days in a row with temperatures that's kind of previewing what we would see something more like mid to late July. And here we are just in the middle of May. 86 in Denver tomorrow, a couple of degrees from that record, and it's an oldie all the way back to 1915. Don't think we're going to break it, but you know, it's possible. So we will have to watch that for you as we go into the afternoon. Looking at your extended forecast here. So 2 very warm days. We continue with this 15 to 20 degree above average. Wednesday is still going to be well above normal, but not as warm as we start to feel that cooler air coming in from the Pacific Northwest. Will be windy on Wednesday. Fire danger will be elevated. We're going to have to really watch conditions for your Wednesday afternoon, especially in the foothills and on the eastern plains with regard to fire danger. Thursday, the coolest day of this extended period. Close to normal. We should be around 70 this time of the year, and that's what it looks like on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, temps come up just a few degrees. We are going to see those afternoon showers and thunderstorms come back into the picture. Possibly a pretty good chance coming up on your Sunday.